Welcome to another presentation of the Cognitive Security Institute. The views expressed by presenters are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of, or endorsement by, the Cognitive Security Institute or any affiliated organizations. Humanity stands at the threshold of an unprecedented technological revolution. Advances in AI-powered autonomous systems, direct neural interfaces, and immersive digital connectivity promise to redefine human capabilities. However, this transformation also presents profound ethical, security, and existential challenges that demand proactive and thoughtful action. The decisions we make now will shape the trajectory of our species and determine whether we thrive in this new era or falter under its weight. You may learn more about cognitive security and how to become involved in this rapidly growing community by visiting our website at cognitivesecurity.institute. If you find these talks interesting, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. We hope that you enjoy this presentation. Isaac is the creator of Deepfake OS, chief developer of the Deepfake Dashboard, and the founder of Hathaway Technologies LLC. He specializes in developing customized AI-powered web apps tailored to meet individual client requirements. As part of the Deepfake Dashboard team, Isaac taught the course, Cognitive Security, Preparing for Cyber Deception Through Synthetic Media Attacks at Black Hat USA in 2024, and will be teaching this class again at Black Hat Asia in April of 2025. You may learn more about his work or contact him at hathaway.llc.
Hello, this is Dr. Matthew Canham, the Executive Director of the Cognitive Security Institute. News reports of cybercriminals using deepfake technology to launch social engineering attacks are becoming more frequent. In early 2024, a story dropped about a financial institution losing tens of millions of dollars to a single attack using audio and video deepfake technology. It is becoming vital for companies to incorporate deepfake capabilities into red team assessments. The Deepfake OS is an open source toolkit available to assist red teams in their assessments. Now I turn it over to Isaac to demonstrate the capabilities of the Deepfake OS.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. So this is fun. I think I get the new low score for youngest CSI presenter, possibly by a factor of 2. So that's always exciting. I'll jump right into it. So I'm going to be showing off Deepfake OS today. Just real quick, this is the website where you can go get it. Deepfakedashboard.com/deepfakeOS. There's a bunch of information here as well. You can log in, request to download it, and I pretty much approve all of those requests. So you should be able to get access to it. Just real quick heads up, if you do want to try this out yourself, you're probably going to need some pretty decent hardware. Bare minimum, I would say, is a NVIDIA 1080 Ti GPU. That's the slowest one I've had the opportunity to test this on, and most of the tools currently in Deepfake OS will run to some extent on that. But also, if you want to buy one of those shiny new 5000 series NVIDIA cards that just launched, this would be a great use for it. So I'm going to jump into this real quick with the first tool up here. This is Ollama, and it's a framework for running local large language models. You guys are probably all familiar with ChatGPT, I'll assume now. This is ChatGPT in your pocket, or more accurately, in your kind of powerful workstation. So this comes preloaded with an uncensored model called Dolphin, it's based on another model, which is based on another model, but essentially it has as few guardrails as absolutely possible. And it's halfway fast on this machine too, because it's a pretty small model. It's not super smart. It's not going to compete with ChatGPT or anything. Really, its only relevance is that it's uncensored. And if you've used ChatGPT recently, and maybe you've been using it for a while, ChatGPT's guardrails have actually been relaxed in about the past year. OpenAI's statement towards it is kind of just assuming the best of its users. So if you ask something a little bit questionable, it'll be like, they're probably just asking because they are generally curious or whatnot. But there are some points where it'll kind of just refuse to give you answers. This one, not so much. And you can test it by asking a question that ChatGPT won't respond to. So we might have to edit this one out of the YouTube video. But how do I make a bomb? All right, ChatGPT will not be happy if you ask it this. It'll give you ingredients. So that's a good start. That's a good sign that this is pretty uncensored. So what this is useful here for in the context of Deepfake OS is phishing emails. And I'm going to make a bad argument here, and you don't have to go along with me, but I'm going to make it anyway. I'm going to make the case that phishing emails are a form of text-based deepfake in a primitive sense, because you are impersonating someone. You're impersonating a company giving out a free offer that's actually a scam, or you're impersonating someone from a different department of the company who's trying to get information that you shouldn't be able to get. So that's kind of the logic behind including an LLM here, aside from just why not include an LLM in the toolkit. So I'm going to just demonstrate generating a phishing email with this, and I'll show it to you guys. So generate a phishing email to a guy named Matt, offering a free coffee if he clicks on the link. Cool. So there, generate some text. That would be cool if I was demoing this 5 years ago, but we can do a little bit better than that. We want to make it look official, so tell it add HTML and CSS to make it look like an official email offer. Cool. There's all of that. And I'll go one more step. Add a big green claim button that directs to my scam link, Hathaway.LLC. There we go. And sometimes you have to prompt it a little bit to just dump out the whole thing. So what I'll do here, and I'll give you the full thing, is I'll just copy all of this, and I'll pull up a text editor. I have one already over here. Cool. So, and I can just paste that into a text editor, save it, and pull it up in my browser. Perfect. And I just need to share this over here. And now you see, hey, I generate a phishing email. And if I click the claim button, oh, hey, now you got sent to a scam link, plug for my business website. But so that's the first tool. And I promise I'll be upping the ante from here. It'll get a little bit more interesting. So I'll dive into the next one. Next up, we have RVC, which stands for it's a retrieval-based voice changer. And this is used for, here, I'll share this with you guys so you can see the interface. This is used for both training voice models based on spoken audio, and it can be used to create pre-recorded audio snippets. If any of you are familiar with 11 Labs, the super popular text-to-speech engine that's available online, this isn't quite that. Whereas 11 Labs is text-to-speech, this is voice-to-voice. So you give it some spoken audio, put it through a model, and it sounds like someone else's voice coming out the other end. So first thing I'll need to do here is grab an audio snippet. So also included in this toolkit is Audacity, just a really simple, free, open source program for recording audio. So I'll just grab a snippet here. Good morning, Cognitive Security Institute. This is just a little recording of my voice so that we have something to use in a demonstration. Hopefully it all goes pretty well. Cool. Save that, export audio. Live demo. Don't save that. So we can pick a voice here. These are all some pre-trained models. I'll go with Obama because he's top of the list. And if I find the Where is it? Oh, here we go. Live demo. Copy paste that in there. Tons of buttons and dials and settings to mess with. I'm not going to get into all that here, but feel free to ask any questions later, and feel free to try this yourself later too. I'll click convert, and for the most part, I think I need to reshare my screen actually. There we go. Cool. So now I'm sharing this actual tab, so you should be able to hear the audio here.
Good morning, Cognitive Security Institute. This is just a little recording of my voice so that we have something to use in a demonstration. Hopefully it all goes pretty well.
So there's my voice modulated to sound like Barack Obama. And I have two other voice models here too, real quick. So this is Elon Musk.
Good morning, Cognitive Security Institute. This is just a little recording of my voice so that we have something to use in a demonstration. Hopefully it all goes pretty well.
And last one I'll do is Joe Rogan here.
Good morning, Cognitive Security Institute. This is just a little recording of my voice so that we have something to use in a demonstration. Hopefully it all goes pretty well.
And I just saw one question pop up that I'll address quickly. Is all of this stuff, everything you're seeing here today is being run locally. And if you download Deepfake OS, same will be true for you. So this workstation here has an RTX 3090 in it, which is enough to run all of these demos. Like I said, you could go maybe one or two steps down the GPU tier list. I've tested this with a 1080 Ti, and most of these demos work pretty okay with something like that as well. Anyway, back to RVC. The other thing this can do that I won't get into is training these voice models, like the ones you just heard. I've had some decent luck with just around 4 or 5 minutes of audio, although more is better here. But the number one thing with audio or data for training any of these models that you're going to see today is it's definitely quality over quantity, but quantity also helps. Really good data in gets you good data out, and bad data in gets you bad data out. So on this machine, about 5 minutes of audio, you let it train for about an hour, and that'll get you about the quality you just heard. So the other thing that you're going to ask real quick is like, hey, can you do this live? Can you change your voice in real time, like say while you're in this Zoom call? Yes, but big asterisk. I'm going to put a pin in that. We'll get back to that in a bit. And I'm just going to jump into the next tool. So the next one is Live Portrait. So this can do some interesting things, and I'll just start with an image version. It takes a source image or source video, and then it takes a driving video, and it essentially applies the motions or the lip movements and the face movements from the driving video to the source image or video. So this guy is just kind of squishing his face around a little bit. If we set that to animate, it's going to take about 30 seconds over there. This piece of software is really interesting. You'll see it in a little bit of a second. It's better at generating man-made horrors that are going to give you nightmares than it is at generating realistic deepfakes. But there's an element of it where it's almost there, and I'm interested to see how it improves over time. So here, I'll pull this up. Fair warning, this is probably going to be a little unsettling. So that's what you got there. It looks a little goofy. And one of the biggest issues is you're applying video movements to a static image. So it looks really unnatural when everything out of frame is just completely static. So recently they actually added the ability to apply it to a video as well. And let's see, what's the best way to do this? I recorded a short video myself the other day that we can use. And hello, Cognitive Security Institute. This is just a video of me talking, so we can use it in a demonstration. So if I let this one run, it'll apply those same facial movements to me while I'm talking too, which isn't the greatest. Because it kind of is me talking and also me making weird facial movements now. But this at least has some potential to essentially make someone say whatever you want them to say and have it look like their mouth and expression goes along with it. We'll get to some other methods that are probably one step better, but this is at least kind of fun. So you'll see my mouth as being horribly distorted here. And then in the original or in this one up here, you can see the original video compared to the one with the expressions applied to it. So that's live portrait. It's kind of interesting, but I'll jump ahead into the next one, which is, here we go. So this is Deepface Live. It is the real-time counterpoint to Deepface Lab. And Deepface Lab, if you're unfamiliar with it, is essentially the open source tool for creating realistic deepfake masks. And I'm going to go here and say that this is a mask style deepfake, and none of this terminology, as far as I'm aware, is being used. I'm kind of halfway inventing it, but this is a mask style deepfake where you create a model and it applies it over your face. Whereas I would refer to live portrait, the one we just saw, as a puppet style deepfake, where you have someone's face and you're distorting it as if you're using a puppet. So to get this working here, I have to disable my camera so I can use it in this tool. So I'm just gonna stop my camera there. Don't worry, I'll be back. And now I'm holed up in here. And yeah, you can still see my screen. So here is the real-time Tom Cruise model deepfake, which you saw in the LinkedIn post. So this right now is what is, I would consider, the gold standard of deepfakes. It's using Deepface Live, and it's using a pre-trained model. And this model took thousands, if not tens of thousands of images of Tom Cruise from various movies that he's been in, and trained those for hours and hours and hours on some pretty powerful GPUs to create a full AI model of his face that can get overlaid over my face. And it can do that overlay in real time. Right now it's running at about 20 frames per second while I have all this other stuff open and while I'm screen sharing. So it's fairly effective. This is definitely going to be a core tool that we use in our deepfake penetration testing, because you show up in a Zoom meeting or whatnot with this. This is top tier. And I'll show you one other thing that this can do. If you don't have enough hardware or don't have enough training data to train a real model, you can actually do it off of a single image. So this, it actually runs a little bit slower off of a single image, and it's not nearly as good. And you're probably not going to fool anyone with this unless I really take a step back. It's not very good, I would say. This is quite literally taking a JPEG of Tom Cruise or a PNG or whatnot and just slapping it right over my face. It's, I guess for what it's doing, it's halfway decent, but if you're going to use this in an actual environment, you really need to use the pre-trained models. So that's kind of interesting. I saw another comment that this is matching the lighting pretty well, and I'll give a quick little demo of that. Pull this back up. So there are some other options here. I guess, yeah, I'll keep this over here for now. With color transfer, if I turn that off, it uses the original color of the trained model. So here it's kind of mismatching my skin tone just a little bit, but with this color transferability, it now is applying my skin tone to the deepfake model. And there are times where you want that on and times where you want it off. It's generally better when it's on. However, regardless, this is going to be so much better if your skin tone already is pretty close and if your face shape is already pretty close. The more things that you can make closer, the better this is going to work. Because you can also produce man-made horrors if you're trying to put someone's face onto someone else that really doesn't line up well. Here's a legally distinct, not Elon Musk model, but it's Elon Musk. And this model is, along with the Tom Cruise one, it came pre-trained here, and it auto downloads it. You'll see this model, it doesn't work nearly as well because apparently I look a lot more like Tom Cruise than I do Elon Musk. So here's this one. It's a little bit more just unsettling and not quite right. Um, so there's that. I saw another question I guess I'll get to right now too. Someone asked about the hairlines. Essentially, if you'll look down here in the swapped face, this is what's actually being rendered and placed over me. Everything outside of this swapped face area isn't getting adjusted at all. So if I want my hair to look like Elon Musk or Tom Cruise, I've got to put it up and do it manually. Everything outside of essentially forehead to chin isn't going to get changed at all. So that all has to be done physically in real life if you want to wear the clothes or do the hair or whatnot. And you can actually, this is the most it'll do. There are some models that are smaller and can run faster, but they're not used as much. You can get ones that go from just the eyes down. You can get ones that are just the mouth and so on. There's no real reason to use any of those aside from performance. Like if you're running on really low hardware and you want to just kind of make something work, but in general, you're going to be using the whole face or WF models if you're going to be using this. I saw one more comment. I guess I'm getting those. Oh, and backgrounds and stuff. You can do that with other software like OBS right over here. And actually, I'll get into this now here. Let me go back to a halfway decent model real quick. This one's throwing me off. I'll boot up OBS. And this I'll have to bring over here. So I got to do a couple things. I got to pull this window up, pull OBS up here. And OBS is another piece of software that's bundled with Deepfake OS. It's an open source tool for recording your screen and streaming and just doing a bunch of stuff. And it's really widely used. So if you need any tutorials or anything on it, it's really abundant to find information about this online. But what you can do with this is I will delete this. I need a window capture. And I'll select the Deepface Live output. Share that. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. So this is set up to record the output of this. If I wanted to make a video like, hey, I'm going to go post this on LinkedIn. This is what I used the other day. However, there's another button down here called Start Virtual Camera. And what this lets you do is, well, I'll click it and got to authenticate here. This essentially creates a virtual webcam, just like it says. And so I can go back into Zoom over here in just a second. And I can hopefully find it here. Yep. Cool. So now I can select this virtual webcam and I just have to center myself a little bit there. But now if you look back at Zoom, and I'll stop sharing my screen real quick. Now I'm Tom Cruise with this deepfake mask applied in the stream here. So this is how you would actually achieve a deepfake pen test, because you can't just go in there and share your screen and be like, hey guys, this is me, and you have all the software running and everything. This is how you do it smoothly so you actually look like him. And with OBS, it's super popular. There's tons of extensions. If you want to blur your background, if you want to throw a green screen behind you, do some stuff with the background, that's your chance to do it, is in OBS, as opposed to doing that in Deepface Live. It's kind of like every tool has its own use in the stack here. So that's kind of fun. And then going back a minute to when we were doing the voice cloning, and I posed the hypothetical question, well, could you do that in real time? And could you apply that at the same time as Deepface Live so you have audio and video? Yes. However, I don't exactly have the real-time audio working perfectly with Deepfake OS yet, so I'm going to wimp out just a little bit and pull up a pre-recorded demo, because that's a little safer. But I will promise you that in the next version of Deepfake OS that comes out at some point. I'm not going to make any promises on the timeline for that, but in the next version of Deepfake OS, I'll have this real-time voice changer, which is called Deterus Voice Changer, and I'll show you the GitHub here in a minute, with just installed with everything else. So you can do the voice and the video at the same time. So I'll stop all this, give me a second to close all this down, and I'll pull up my pre-recorded demo.
Hey, so here's my demo with real-time voice and Deepface Live running at the same time with Tom Cruise models running. If you're seeing this video, it's probably because my live demo didn't go well and I had to pull this one up halfway through the presentation. But oh well, that's why I recorded this. So as you can see here, we have audio and video deepfakes going on at the same time. And I think it produces a pretty convincing effect, at least more so than just one or the other. And this is kind of what I would say is the peak right now of deepfake threat level. Like you hop in a Zoom meeting and this shows up. You're maybe not expecting it, and it's just halfway convincing. I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's a little bit uncanny valley. I sound a little robotic. Like if you know to look for it, you might be able to spot it. But give it another couple years, even if you're looking for it, you probably won't see it. So that's a whole interesting set of problems. But for right now, hey, this is where we're at. So anyway, yeah, that's the demo. Thanks.
So that's, like I said in the video, that's kind of the peak right now, is video and audio at the same time running live. And I know, so I got a comment about this too, is one of the challenges with this is getting the lip sync running well, so the audio and video line up really well. One of the issues there is that you're running Deepface Live over here, you're running Deterus Voice Changer, which I'll show you in a minute, over on the other side, and they have slight variances in like how long it's taking to process each little snippet. So the sync will kind of waver in and out of sync, I guess, over time. So it's hard to just linearly like, oh, I'm going to delay the video and audio this much, which you do have to do. It's running at a delay of roughly half a second there. And like I said, there's a little bit of deviation, and that's something I'll look into for future versions of Deepfake OS, is see what is feasible to mitigate that without doing anything super crazy or taking up even more processing power there. But that's kind of for future research. So I want to kind of wind this down a little bit and just kind of give some final thoughts and updates for what's coming in the next edition of Deepfake OS. So I've already mentioned a couple of these things, but here, let me share this screen over here. This is Wave Tulip. It's very similar to Live Portrait up here that we've used before, except for instead of doing video to video, it does voice to video, where you feed it in an audio clip of someone speaking, and it will lip sync them to sound like they're speaking it. The issue is it's just not great, and it's already outclassed by Live Portrait and definitely outclassed by Deepface Live. However, we did use this when I did a training at Black Hat in 2024. It was a fun part of our class there, and since I've used it before, I want to port it into Deepfake OS and make it available here, even if it's not, top tier. So that's something that you can expect to see. Another one is, this is the voice changer that I'm working on integrating right now. This is top priority. And this is the one that I used in the Tom Cruise demo. And this is a fork of W. Okada voice changer, which is probably the first really popular open source voice changer. It's just not great. You can definitely disguise your voice so you don't sound like yourself, but it's hard to accurately sound like someone else, and the performance just isn't quite there. And to make things even more difficult, it's a lot of it's in Japanese. So that was, I've tried working with this before and haven't gotten great results with it. Since it's open source, the great thing about that is someone forked it, updated it, I don't know what they tweaked under the hood. I haven't looked, but it just runs like 5 times better, and it makes it actually feasible to do real-time voice cloning. So this will be in there. And the last thing, I haven't even had a chance to test this yet. It's pretty brand new. It's been getting updates as of yesterday, even in the GitHub repo. F5 TTS. This is a text-to-speech engine that, from videos I've seen online, competes with the quality of 11 Labs. And it only takes a couple seconds of audio of someone speaking. Like, it will actually cut it off at 15 seconds. It'll accept at most 15 seconds of spoken audio, and it will clone their voice with text to speech. You type in whatever you want, you get them to say it. So especially once you have a bunch of these tools like this, I can see this being powerful. Hey, I'm going to clone someone's voice, text to speech it, and then use wave to lip on a video of them to make it sound like they're speaking it. Like, there's just a whole bunch of variations here, and I think this is what really excites me about Deepfake OS, is that all these tools on their own are pretty cool, but then you put them together in one toolbox and start using them and combining them in interesting ways, you can do a lot of really powerful stuff. So that's, I think, all for now. I'm gonna turn it back over to Matt, and I'll stick around here for quite a while to answer any questions you have. So thanks.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation to the Cognitive Security Institute. If you enjoyed this talk, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. You may learn more about topics in cognitive security by visiting us at cognitivesecurity.institute.